Communalism, both of them do the same. But what we want to do, and we want to show the people of this country that this is just empty posturing. When it comes to real corruption, big ticket corruption, they work together, hand in glove. They have pretty much the same agenda. There are no ideological differences really. And they all work for the same constituency. And we're not living in a democracy but a kleptocracy. And we'll prove that. Because they're not one expose but many exposes. We're getting a lot of information every day. You'll be surprised to know how much information we keep getting. And not only about one party or two, but many, many more. So we'll keep coming out with more stuff.
Two quick questions.
You can say whatever, you can say we're politically ambitious.
No, you have a right to be politically ambitious.
This is our agenda. Yes, and we will be pursuing it.
See, Shazia, you have a right to be politically ambitious. I have never questioned your right to be politically ambitious. You can be politically ambitious. Arvind Kejriwal can be politically ambitious. Manish Sisodia can be politically ambitious. That is not the moot question. The moot question only tonight, that of Shazia, is two questions. One, today the whole country is talking today about Robert Vadra's land deals. Tomorrow, you are aware that you're shifting focus to Gadkari, and therefore somebody could say you're doing the Congress a great favor in turn by doing so.
Sure.
Now you are aware of that. The other question is can you tell me tonight what logical conclusion will you take your fight against Nitin Gadkari to? Because the logical conclusion in the case of Salman Khurshid was the declaration by your leader Arvind Kejriwal on the 12th of this month that this is the next Tahrir Square and we will not move from here till Salman Khurshid resigns, till he suddenly decided to pack up and say, let's go to Farrukhabad. Will, after 4 days, Arvind Kejriwal say, okay guys, pack up time, off to the next target, perhaps or perhaps not, we will raise this in Nagpur?
Arnab, let me remind you, when we spoke on Robert Vadra, the story on Robert Vadra had been floating around. Everybody is scared of this family. Nobody touches it. Nobody from the BJP has raised it. So many media publications, nobody touched the story, we started it. Everybody kept saying till yesterday that now the Salman Khurshid story is there, you have deliberately put, taken away the heat on Robert Vadra's story. But truth has a way to surface and resurface itself. See what happened to Ashok Khemka. And you saw what Arvind said about him and what Prashant has been saying about him, and all of us express solidarity with him, and his fight is our fight. And it really moves me as to how this, and let me also tell you, on Ashok Khemka, he got transferred 40 times in a 2-decade-old career. Believe me, it wasn't just the Huda government, but different governments.
But why wouldn't you fight for him?
So let me assure you here right now.
Why wouldn't you fight for him?
So the fight remains the same. The fight against corruption is a fight.
Okay,
that is
so
our
whether
politics.
or not you fight for Khemka,
that is our end game.
Now, Pinky Anand, your party...
But the story, how did it start?
Pinky Anand, your party once gave almost near unconditional support to India against corruption. Today, your leader calls Mr. Arvind Kejriwal and his group a bunch of muckrakers. Arun Jaitley says, we want truth, not populism. Prakash Javadekar also similarly attacks the India against corruption people. You are not prejudging it. Does it not appear to you that several BJP leaders are a little nervous before the Gadkari expose? Because you will be asked tomorrow at 9 p.m, Pinky Anand, that by the way, are you having the same standards for yourself that you had for the Congress party? Will you take this group with the same sincerity and faith that you took in the case when they attacked Salman Khurshid? You could also be asked that in a court of law.
Fair enough. Whatever we are asked, we will respond. Rest assured, Arnab, there will be no hesitation on that account. But let me tell you, there is what is this whole IAC about today. One thing is what you think they started out with, and therefore you thought they were doing something good for the country. But today it is away from that into what you rightly called populism. I mean, that ultimately...
I didn't. Mr. Jaitley did. I didn't.
I agree.
Sorry, I didn't.
I agree. Mr. Jaitley said populism, and we stand with that. But today all they are trying to do, as you can see, is place, so-called one expose after another. And let me tell you what frightens me is, you start a movement, they start a movement, IEC, they start with Vadra and then leave it midway. They start another battle with Mr. Salman Khurshid and then they leave it midway. And then they say we're going to start doing this balancing.
So what you're saying tomorrow is...
To show...
So what you're saying to Shazia is that when you pick up...
Parties, yes.
Are you saying to Shazia that Shazia, when you pick up the fight against... Are you saying to Shazia... Are you saying to...
Why is Pinky watching? Pinky, then you need not watch, because then we'll run away from that. That's your insinuation, that this is what we've been doing.
No, Pinky Anand is telling you... Pinky Anand is telling you to be consistent.
If you're and we should not be taken seriously, we shoot and scoot, then what's the issue? Then forget about it.
Lawbreaker?
Why is it a threat?
There's no law breaking here. No, this is an ethical question.
Then don't bother. Why are you prepared and anticipating as to what's going to happen tomorrow? Why are all eyes on tomorrow's expose? Why are you legally all set? And you are going on telling me we'll see. Don't watch. Don't bother then. Because if it's not important, then how does it matter? Robert Vadra's expose was not important.
Shazia, I think you have a point.
Salman Khurshid did not do anything.
I agree with you. I think you have a point. But the point is, if somebody comes up, if the IEC comes up with false statements, then you have to ultimately meet it. But you're right. I think you people should be ignored and left alone. And the truth, as you said, will automatically work its way up.
Pinky Anand and Shazia Ilmi.
No, I was going by your logic. I was going by your logic as to how you... Tomorrow evening, described as to what we've been doing.
I invite both of you in advance.
People are taking it very seriously. People are taking it very seriously.
See, tonight we are operating in a vacuum. The vacuum is that I don't know what this expose is about. Tomorrow we will not be in a vacuum, and tomorrow Pinky Anand and Shazia Ilmi, I'm pre-booking you for the Newshour debate, because tomorrow with all the facts we can then debate whether this, the public expectation of the big Gadkari expose was met by the actual deliverables of Mr. Kejriwal and his team tomorrow. So I look forward to having both of you tomorrow on the Newshour. Let's see where that story goes.
We look forward, Arnab, and let me tell you, one of your questions which is very relevant to Shazia is, why do they not defend Ashok Khemka? I think today what somebody needs a full support like you have done in the earlier program is a person like him who stands above all.
Defending and expressing solidarity with Ashok Khemka. I don't think you're informed on that one. You're up to speed, Pinky, on that one.
The question is why is the movement not going behind him instead of coming only on television networks?
No, you're not up to speed, Pinky.
May I say one thing not by way of clarification, but I want to say this to Pinky Anand and to all the viewers. One channel, Shazia, please don't take it otherwise. One channel that will not let its news agenda be dictated by the agenda of India against corruption is Times Now. Our viewers know that. We decide our editorial agenda, though Arvind Kejriwal says, I decide the news agenda these days. Arvind Kejriwal is wholly wrong when he says that. But the fact of the matter is this. We will not let the Ashok Khemka story die. Not even regardless of any expose of IAC tomorrow. I would like to assure you, Pinky, and all the viewers tomorrow.
It is my appeal to you. It is my appeal to you.
I think that is the best statement, Pranav.
It is my appeal to you.
Thank you.
It is my appeal to you.
Thank you, Shazia.
It's a very important story.
Thank you, Shazia. I thank you both. See you tomorrow. See you tomorrow. And see you tomorrow as well. Tell us tonight if you've been following this story. Should Khemka be reinstated instead of being shunted? Write in to us. We are taking your feedback till 12 p.m. Tomorrow we'll send all that you write to IAS officer Ashok Khemka. See you tomorrow on the big story of Gadkari, Khemka and more. Good night and goodbye.